want to get your biggest bang for your buck with your content through creative ways of repurposing it, with just 30 minutes of a great piece of content, you can repurpose that into multiple different ways if you know how. So if you want to learn how, join us for this episode, because our guest today is going to share all the ways to do just that. But you know the drill. You're going to have to stick around to find out his...
Welcome to Waist Up Wardrobe. I'm Christine Vartanian, an attorney turned personal style expert and image consultant. As the founder of Jade House of Style, I am passionate about unveiling the inner confidence of my clients by developing their personal style and dressing them for success. But is getting dressed up still important in our virtual world? Well, that's where my experience can help with what I call Waist Up Wardrobe. Waist Up Wardrobe is a podcast for all things you need to conduct an outstanding Zoom meeting. It's about how to dress for the camera, but it's not just about the clothes. It's about everything you need to know to show up on brand and professionally for the camera. Join me in the Waist Up Wardrobe studio to discuss how to navigate this virtual world and dominate from behind the desk.
Welcome, Waist Up Wardrobe Nation. We are back again with a new fresh show. We've been dark for a couple weeks, but you know we're always creating amazing content and trying to really get the best experts and guests out there in the different areas of entrepreneurship so that we can give you actual applicable tools and content that you can go back and implement. So thank you for being here. You know, we're on a lot of social media platforms. We are on Instagram. We're here every Thursday live at 11:30, bringing you a new show with either a guest or a conversation around how to show up professionally on camera. And we always want to make sure that we are delivering the best content. So the questions can get pretty detailed, so that you can go back and really get all your questions answered and really utilize the material we are trying to deliver here. And we are on TikTok and we are on Instagram, and again, we are on iTunes, so you can actually listen to us if you're walking on the beach and you don't actually have the ability to watch us. And you can always watch the show on replay because it lives on Facebook at Waist Up Wardrobe year-round, forever. Okay. So I have a really special guest today on the show. Oh, and I forgot. I don't know how I did this, but I can never forget to thank my super amazing producer, Rick Moscoso, who's always in the production room, making sure everything is working seamlessly on the show. Thank you, Rick. You are awesome. So I have a special guest today, and I want to share a little bit about our guest. He has really created a system where you can take a piece of content and maximize its potential. And today he's going to talk to us about how that can be done. Aaron Witnish is the co-founder of ContentOnly.au, specializing in the 30 days and 90 minutes content creation system. We're going to get to learn about his system. He can share, he has a lot to share, but one of the things he's going to be sharing is his 3-step system that allows you to create 30 days of original on-brand video and written content in just 90 minutes a month. So you dedicate 90 minutes a month and you have all this content that you can use throughout the month. The system eliminates all the boundaries and headaches and time it takes to create authentic daily content for social media and build a brand. And he's been marketing online for quite some time. And 2008, he's got some expertise under his belt, and he's built 2 marketing agencies, and he has a combined 15,000 plus followers across all the social media platforms, LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. And he's here to share all his genius with us. So please help us welcome Aaron Witnish to the show. Hi, Aaron. How are you?
Hey, Christine. I'm awesome. How are you?
Oh, I detect a little accent, right? Where are you from?
From Australia, so I do apologize if some of the words come out a bit different. It's the morning here, and I think we're in the future as well, so it should be a fun chat.
Yes, we are. You are in the future, and that is awesome. I thought it was very cool that you agreed to be on the podcast when it's 4:30 in the morning in Australia right now. So I appreciate that. I appreciate you coming to share your genius with our audience, and I just know it's going to be an amazing show with a lot of great information. But we always do this thing at the beginning of the show to get to know our guests better because yes, you are a business owner, you're an entrepreneur, and you're going to be teaching us a lot of things, but you're a person first. And I think it's always interesting to find out more about people in a deeper way. So you go with that?
I'm good.
Okay. So I'm going to ask you this or that questions and just you answer whatever comes to mind.
Sure.
Okay. Um, Paragliding or parasailing?
Parasailing.
Have you ever done that?
No.
But if you did, that's what you would choose, right?
Yeah, correct.
Okay, so I caught you off guard there because we didn't really talk about that, nor is it anywhere in your background. But you think on your feet, and I love that. So my next question is Greece or Italy?
Italy.
That surprises me because you shared with me that you actually have a place in Greece, right?
Yeah, so spend a lot of time in Greece. So mix it up and go to Italy and eat all the pizza.
Oh, okay. So you have been to Italy?
Have been to Italy. Absolutely love it.
Right. Wow. So I was a little surprised by that. So do you speak Italian?
I can say hello and order gelati. That's as far as my skill set, and coffee, which is very important.
All the important things. All the
Yeah.
important things. Coffee or tea then?
Sorry, what was that one?
Coffee or tea?
Oh, definitely coffee. I do drink tea, but I've probably got a problem with coffee. Probably should get some help with it.
I know it's funny because like you try to like scale back and then you realize just how much it impacts you and you get tired or cranky and it's like, wait a minute. You realize that you're kind of reliant on it, right? It's an important part of your day. Yeah, coffee is definitely very, very, very important and very special. Okay, one last question. If you had a choice between running or walking, which one would that be?
Running is a very passionate hobby of mine,
Oh,
and I do love walking more for connecting with nature and slowing down and taking things in. But I love the dopamine hit and the endorphin rush you get when you get that runner's high. So I'll take a run over the walk.
awesome. And do you do that like officially? Like do you do any competitions, any races, or are you just kind of like that is what you do on your own?
I did enter a lot of fun runs up until last year, but now it's very much for maintaining fitness, a
Yeah.
passion, not pushing myself to the extremes to try and break records and run fast times. So I've tapered down from my competitive days, but I did go in a number of races and see how fast I could go. So that was good fun.
Yeah, I do not love running, but because I do not love running, I've been trying to run a little bit more and I've been trying to do like a 5K a month. And I love it because it's only a 3-mile run and I'm getting better and better at it and it's getting easier and easier, which is kind of my goal. So I love running as I love running. I love the idea of running. I don't thoroughly enjoy it, nor do I ever want to do a marathon. But I do like what it feels like and the mental piece of it. So, all right. Well, you're a runner. You frequent Europe, and you're definitely an entrepreneur who understands social media. How much do you love social media?
We had a little brief chat behind the scenes before we started, and I mentioned that I don't like social media in many ways, despite our entire business being built around it. I think it's created a lot of comparison. Some of the things that get posted aren't necessarily true. And a lot of people find themselves with, I'm going to say, mental health issues on the back end of utilizing the platform. And it's a big distraction. And a lot of people sedate themselves with the scrolling. So, in many ways, I'm against it, but in many ways, in the business sense, I'm for it. So I've got an interesting stance when it comes to social media.
Yeah, and I thought that was very interesting that you said that, but it's really like anything else if you think about it, right? Anything in the world can be used for good and could be used for the detriment of a human being, right? So like you can a knife, it could be used to create a beautiful meal, or it could be used to hurt somebody. And same thing with social media. There's so many positive things about social media when it comes to growing your business, connecting with people from I mean, it literally has made the world flat. It's why you and I can actually have this conversation. So those are all the amazing, wonderful things about it. It's just in the use of it. Sometimes if it's used in a different way, like you were mentioning, and those are real issues and real problems. And I imagine with the innovation of AI, it's going to get even more complicated when it comes to untruths and what's real and what's not real, right? But it's like anything else. It's like what's the human that is using it? What's their intention behind it? And what is the boundaries you set on yourself? So you're absolutely correct in having your reservations about it, but the fact that you built a business around it is that you are utilizing and showing people how to utilize the positive parts of it, right? So because it is a very powerful tool in building business. So how did you I know you have this system of the 30 days and 90 minutes. It's a content creation system. First of all, tell us just in a nutshell what it is, like what it actually is.
The origin is interesting because I was having a chat. One of my clients is a bricklayer, and he showed up and we were on Zoom, and he said, I want to create some videos and I want to build up my profile in the local construction sector. And I was sitting there getting a videographer out on site, and him in front of a camera might not go that well. Doing take after take might be a bit awkward. And Mark is his name. He's a very good conversationalist. If you chat to him at a bar over a coffee, he talks your head off and very engaging. And I said, let's just try something. And I hit record on the Zoom and started asking him questions. How'd you start your company? What are you seeing inside the sector? What are some ways that you make your crew more efficient? What are some tips for homeowners? Things like that. And he just rattled off these beautiful answers all spontaneously. And I stopped recording after 20 minutes and I gave it to my editor in the team and said, hey, just cut any clips that you think we could use for social media from this conversation. And I got this folder back in 24 hours of roughly 12 clips that were ready to go. And it was the most authentic and organic video that I'd ever seen. And I thought, wow, if we were able to generate that on the fly without any preparation with a bricklayer in Melbourne, I think we're onto something. And that's kind of how the system birthed itself by accident.
Yeah. Do you think his personality had something to do with it? Because you said he's a great conversationalist.
It did. And I then took it to a few other scenarios and thought, well, who are some people that aren't as affable and aren't as charismatic? And we got some questions that I knew that they'd be excited to answer because it was about their specialization, their area of expertise. And when you give someone a question that they want to talk about, generally speaking, even if they're not the most conversational or extroverted person, they tend to light up when they're talking about places that they can add value to other people. So I found that if you ask the right questions, people have these beautiful answers inside them and they get these organic, authentic responses that you don't get with scripts when you're trying to do take after take, staring down the camera lens. So it's been a very interesting discovery.
Yeah, so many good thoughts I had here when you're talking about that. So anybody can do this. Anybody can create content. You don't have to be a certain personality. You don't have to be a big personality. You don't have to be somebody famous. You just have to have something that you're passionate about that you can teach others about, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
So that is really important because a lot of people will say, well, why will anybody want to listen to what I have to say? Or they don't think that they would be comfortable on camera. And I personally have something to say about that. And Rick is my witness, my producer who's running the show today, is that getting on camera live was such a roadblock for me 2 years ago. And in order for me to get on camera in my first, I would say 10, 15, 20 episodes, I would have had to prepare for days before. I would have had to have a script that I was tied to. I was spending so much time in preparation. And then when it started becoming second nature for me, I literally prepared for 15 minutes before our talk today because I no longer have the concern of not being able to um to be camera shy or worried about how I'm going to translate or making a mistake, because the mistakes end up becoming features during the show. It just, that is the beauty of a live show, right? So so I think people who are concerned about, they don't feel like they have the personality for it to be on camera or video. They don't feel like they're prepared enough, or that they're camera shy, or that they don't have something interesting to say. I think all that, what you're going to tell us about today, and anybody can do. I just wanted to kind of set the stage for that for the audience, because I think sometimes people just mark off their list video production, video marketing, because they feel like any one of those things. Any thoughts on that before I ask you about the actual system?
It's very confronting for most people to be on video. It's not a natural state of being. Why I love the approach that I'm talking about is it's like being on FaceTime. It's like being on Zoom. So you're having a conversation with someone. You don't feel like you're on camera. Like we're chatting right now. It doesn't feel like we're being filmed and there's all this production going on, even though there is. So once people lean into the fact that they're just chatting to someone they have really good rapport with, it makes the content creation process so much easier, because they get out of their head and they just focus on having a chat with someone that they enjoy chatting with. And that's why I think this system works, and also how you can get your content creation down to that 60 to 90 minutes a month in a very organic and authentic style that you wouldn't get using other approaches.
Yeah. Okay. So now we want to like dive into the meat here, right? So if somebody were to come to you and say, this is my business, how do I use your system? Can you give us a like a short little roadmap?
Definitely. You start with the content ideas, which is a big problem for just about anyone who posts a lot of content. What do I talk about? There's a shortcut and it's in the palm of your hand. And if you go to Google and you take an outcome that you specialize in, let's say it was weight loss, and you put it into Google and you click enter, you just need to scroll down a little bit and there's a section called People Also Ask. And this will have all the questions and queries that your target customers are typing into Google. And if you keep clicking the down button, it's going to give you question after question after question. So all you need to do is grab the questions that you feel like you can add value to, the questions that you can answer, and you collect this little list. And what you're going to do is have a partner that you interview with on Zoom is a great place to do that. And they're going to have the questions that your target customers are searching for. You can have a look at them in advance and do a little prep if you need to do that. Or if you like being spontaneous, just go for it. And they're going to ask you the questions and you're going to answer the questions. And that's the essence of getting the long form content. And it's content that you know your target customers are searching for online. Then the next step in the process, once you've had that conversation on Zoom and recorded it, is the repurposing. And depending on where you're at in your content creation or business journey, there are tools that can repurpose it very quickly for you. There's GetMunch, there's Opus Clip. These are AI tools. The challenge with that is it's intuitive. It just cuts content. So you might not necessarily get the clips for the questions that you were answering. So you might not get the relevant content that you're after. But if you don't have the budget, you can't invest in an editor. It can be a really good place to start. If you're a little bit further along the timeline in terms of your resources, you can go to a freelancing site like Upwork and you can find someone, give them the instructions. These are the questions that we were creating content for. Can you please cut a clip that corresponds to each of these questions, put our captions on it, put our branding on it, send it back to me so it's ready to go for social media. So that gets your video content handled. Then you take that recording, you give it to a tool like rev.com and it'll transcribe the entire conversation into text using AI. And then you've got authentic words that have come out of your mouth corresponding to those questions. And then you can either train a tool like ChatGPT to be able to turn that transcription into the post that you're after if you're good at prompt engineering, or you can just go to the freelancing site like Upwork, get a content writer, give them instructions, say, hey, can you turn the transcription into written posts for each of these questions? And then you've got your written content, you got your video content. All you've had to do is show up on Zoom, have a chat with a friend, and you got your content ideas from Google.
Wow. I think it's fascinating. The things that we don't know. I had no idea that if you scroll down on Google, I'd never noticed this, that you get those frequently asked questions people also ask. And that is a great tip and a great tool to get in the mind of your target audience, because they're like frequently asked questions in your field, right?
Yeah, you're solving your target customers' biggest problems. This is what they're wanting to know and searching online. So you instantly stand out as an authority when you have the solutions and you feel like they feel like you're in their head with the content, the videos that you're putting out. And also, if you're using that as the title of your post, the title of your video, you're also optimizing for what people are searching for. So it helps with the performance.
Yeah, that's an interesting little trick. I'm taking notes. This is awesome. Even though I could take this video and transcribe it and have it written
Yeah,
word, right?
exactly.
Yeah. Okay. You were title. Okay, you're talking of them being titles to your post because it optimizes your SEO. Is that correct terminology?
Especially on platforms like Google and YouTube, they are search engines, so they operate different to social media. They're
Yeah.
looking to show the most relevant and popular content based on what people are typing into the search engine. On social media, it's more of an interruption platform where it intuitively shows content to the end user that it thinks will keep it on the platform so it can show more advertising and generate more revenue. So it's a very different approach to, say, optimizing for what someone's typing in versus what's going to get in front of someone and hold their attention on a platform like Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, LinkedIn, etc.
Yeah. So as we're sitting right now, and the steps and tools that you mentioned, I know that for me, if I had to do this on my own, I would be like, oh, he mentioned Upwork and all these other
Yeah.
tools, and now I'm kind of frozen. Uh, that would be a challenge for me. That would be a block for me. But what are the biggest challenges? And maybe that is one of them. But what are the biggest challenges when it comes to content creation for people?
The first one we've covered the ideas, then it's what do I post? When do I post it? How often do I post it? And the best, excuse me, the best answer for that is to look at your industry and who's doing it best in your space. And what you want to look at is what time of the day are they posting? What style of content are they using? And what format? And that kind of gives you the blueprint to who's doing it best.
Mm.
And based on where you're starting from, which I'm assuming is not in the number one position, you're not that resource, you can just go, okay, I'm here. Let's just, if I'm not posting content, let's just keep it really simple. My goal is just to start getting content out once a week. So that way I'm building a habit. Then as you start to get the habit dialed in, you start to increase the quality of what you talk about when you get feedback from your audience and they're showing you what they're responding to and what they're resonating with. Then once you've got that dialed in, you can start increasing the frequency so you can do more quality content more often.
So the challenges that most people talk about are like the idea generating
Mhm.
and frequency and consistency and those things. And would you agree that a lot of that piece is trial and error too?
Definitely. So we see a lot of people have all these constraints that they put on themselves when it comes to content. And the reality is, like anything, you learn from being on the field. So you do it, you get feedback, and then you adjust. Most people are going to try and think they have to put their content on all these different platforms. And then they've got all these moving parts that they need to manage. But my suggestion is pick your primary platform. What's the platform that you enjoy most, that has the attention of your target audience, and focus on building a community there first and foremost, because if you build followers, then you can always transition over to another platform moving forward, but then you don't have to focus on TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn and get very small micro doses of engagement that you can't keep on top of across all these platforms. Focus on one and build depth with your community. And that way you'll be able to transition anywhere you want to go in the future. So what platform do you enjoy the most? Which platform has the attention of your target customers? And focus on that first and foremost.
Okay. That's really good advice, because I think people get confused. They might spend years on Instagram and then somebody would say, "Oh, but you need to be on TikTok." And then they're like, "Oh, I spent all this time on Instagram." But TikTok is, I'm supposed to be on TikTok. Like, if you pick one and build depth, like you said, then you will capitalize on that in that platform on the people that want what you have to offer, right?
Exactly. And if you focus on one platform, you get to get better much faster because you get the input and the output information, and you can see, okay, when I post at this time, this is when my audience is most active. And a lot of platforms will tell you that. You'll know which tags to use to get the best reach in the newsfeed. And there's a really good tool that I'll share for that. It's called Best
Yes.
Hashtags. And if you take a general keyword, we'll use the weight loss example again, you put it in besthashtags.com. It'll give you a list of all the top hashtags for that niche. And then you can pick the top 3 to 5 each time you put a piece of content, you schedule it out and optimize it to show to your audience that would be following those hashtags. So when you focus on one area, it's much easier to learn, get the information and feedback faster, and optimize so you get much better results and create a much better experience for your audience as you go.
Yeah, that is a great tool. That would be specific for Instagram and TikTok. Does that help on any other platform, the hashtags?
Yeah, so it'll tell you that covers most platforms. It'll tell you what tags for what platform when you do that. With platforms like YouTube, if you're putting your videos on there, if you type in a hashtag, it'll give you a number next to that hashtag, which will tell you roughly how many times that hashtag's used in content. So you can get an idea for which tags to put on your YouTube videos. With a platform like LinkedIn, you can do a similar sort of thing. So most platforms are really helpful at actually telling you which tags you can use that are a great fit for your target audience and give you that data. They want your content to do well, so you keep creating content to keep the platform engaged.
Yeah, no, that's really good. I didn't realize that it would be platform specific, which makes it even more handy. Makes that tool even more handy, right? So what's the number one tip you would offer when people are creating content?
Or start with authentic human content. A lot of people are going to lean into AI and create synthetic content, especially if you're a personal brand or you're in an advisory space. The way that humans work, we're interconnection. We're herd creatures. And if everyone's putting out synthetic content, and a lot of it's not original, and the thoughts have come from the AI learning machine, not from the human themselves. By being yourself, by being organic, by showing up and coming from a place of truth, no one can imitate. Well, they can imitate that, but you're not imitating someone else. So you're going to feel really comfortable about who you are in the world. You'll attract a tribe that genuinely connect with you.
Yeah.
And that's where you get an audience that works. If you show up as a version of yourself that is not authentic, then you'll attract the wrong audience and the wrong tribe. And that has repercussions because the people following you are probably following for the wrong reasons or different reasons. And it's very hard to turn that into something that makes you feel fulfilled and feel good and congruent inside. So be authentic and do a lot of human content. Put your face, put your voice into it, because there's a percentage of the world that's going to really resonate with you. There's also going to be a percentage that doesn't resonate, but that's great. You want to attract and repel and appeal to the people that connect with you, and the people that you're not their cup of tea, it's okay if they move on and they're not interested.
Yeah. Yeah, that's always a hard thing for business owners to do because they want to serve everybody, but you can't. That is not how. That's why we always talk about identifying your target market, right? Because you have a specific subset of the market that will be very interested in what you have to offer. So you brought up AI, and AI is really changing everything. Uh, what do you think the role of AI will be when it comes to content creation? I mean, we know that you can feed it information and be strategic about how you pose the question and give them the background. But like, how is it going to affect, generally speaking, content creation?
It's lowered the barrier to entry. And it's if you got a robot plumber and a plumber hadn't taught it how to plumb, it's not going to do a very good job. So you need to understand content. If you're driving the AI machine and you're using it, you need to know what makes good content in order to get the right output to perform. Because the way the algorithm works is it'll see a piece of content and it'll show it to who they think will respond to this piece of content. And if no one clicks on it and no one engages with it, then it won't get a run in the news feed. The opposite is true. If they show it, everyone's clicking on it, everyone's retaining their attention with it, everyone's engaging with it, they'll show it to more and more people. So people are creating high volumes of low quality content. They're not going to do their brand any favor. The algorithm is not going to show it to many people. So again, it's all about the quality that gets produced and actually gets out onto social media. So if you're not driving it, if you're being lazy with the prompts and the original input that you might be giving it, you're going to get very poor content out of the process. So you're going to see lots more content. But that's where I think the human piece comes in, because as more people are lazy with this synthetic side, the people that are authentic, that are original, are not posting duplicates. So they're going to stand out when the most of the content is synthetic. They're the ones that are still bringing that human energy. And I think that's going to be a huge part of what makes a business or a brand or a creator stand out moving forward.
Yeah, it's being original, right? And if all the content you're creating is AI driven, then it's not really coming from you. It's coming from the machine. And so, yeah, that makes a lot of sense. So, I know you had a freemium that you were going to offer our audience. And with the hashtag fast content and shine, anybody who's watching this now or on the replay, if you put in the hashtag fast content and shine, what are you offering the audience?
So the 30 days in 90 minutes content creation system we give away for free. And it's a tutorial that actually takes you through those 3 steps. So finding your content ideas, how to record it, and then repurposing it into your videos and posts. So if you put those hashtags in, you'll get access to that at ContentOnly.au, and you can actually see exactly how to set up and run this system. So you can create all your content every 30 days in roughly 90 minutes of your time.
Okay, so it's ContentOnly.au.
Yes,
I don't know if you caught how I read it in your bio. I think it's
okay.
content only because I didn't connect the dots. Okay, so it's contentonly.au, and that is a very very cool thing to give us as a giver to our audience. I really appreciate that. And Aaron, it was really cool to see your perspective on how I feel like talking to you, it made it sound like this can be easy and effortless, right? Because that's the one thing that roads blocks people is like, that seems like too many steps. It seems like too many things to do. But I feel like, especially if people took advantage of the, of your freemium, that what you just gave us, that they will see that it's really not that hard as long as you follow the system and you're not lazy and you're kind of doing the work, right? So we always end the show with Waist Up Wardrobe weekly wrap up. And I want to know if there's one takeaway that you would give the audience, just one thing that they should remember, because we are all so overloaded with information. And this, and the conversation is very, we're talking about AI and content repurposing, and people tend to get overwhelmed with that. What is the one takeaway people should remember from today's show?
We spoke about running earlier, and the takeaway is not to go running, but content is very similar. If you haven't run for 2 years, you put your shoes on, you get out the door, 100 meters into it, you're going to feel terrible. You're going to be puffed, exhausted, and want to quit. Content is very much in alignment with that. So the first time you do it, it's going to feel icky. It might not be that great. Not a lot of people are going to see it. And the truth is, the second time you do it, you're going to go a little bit further. It might be a little bit better. A few more people might see it. So if you're not on the field doing it and you're sitting there consuming and watching, the number one tip is get started. Get your phone out, your smart device, and just do a very authentic and raw video saying, hey, I saw Aaron and Christine on this live. They challenged me to do my first piece of content. This is terrible. I promise it's going to get better, but now it's done, and hit post.
Yes, I totally just do it. Just do it, right?
Do it.
Okay, how about like a tip that you think could be beneficial for when it comes to content for the audience?
Probably leaning into what I was saying, especially if you're going to do video, create a conversational approach, because then you'll forget that the camera is recording and you'll be the most natural version of yourself. So you just set up a scenario, whether it's on Zoom, Google Meet. And if you're doing short form content, just use your iPhone, because you'll get really good quality footage without needing to get any fancy equipment, and have someone that you really enjoy talking to, because 2 minutes in, you'll be deep into the conversation, you'll be having fun, you'll be laughing, going back and forth, and you'll get this very natural style of showing up on video, and it won't be as awkward and pulling teeth as you probably think it's going to be.
Yeah. Yeah, no, of course, it's always nice when you're talking to an engaging person that has, a lot to kind of give and take around the topic and to dialogue on it. Okay, so you mentioned a lot of tools, but what's like one critical tool that people should utilize when they're content creating?
I'll give an AI tool that can help people that are starting from a very low base. So there's a tool called Opus Clip, and you can test it. So have a conversation, even if it's 5 or 10 minutes, with a friend on Zoom and record that. Then just feed it through Opus Clip and just see what clips it gives you back, because then you can see the power of repurposing and how you can take a longer form conversation and get a whole lot of short form conversation that you can put out onto social media. So that's a really cool low budget tool that can let you see what repurposing looks like and have a bit of fun and get get something back that you feel good about in a relatively short period of time.
Yeah, so it's Opus, OPUS, Clip.
Yeah.
CLI.
So just Google Opus Clip and
Okay.
give it a run.
Opus. Okay, we have it here in the comments. Okay, awesome. I love that. I'm going to try that myself. And finally, leave the audience with an action item, like something they could, like if they're just sitting there right now watching our show and going, I really want to do that. Seems like a lot to do. What would be one tiny little step towards doing it?
The one that takes 60 seconds is go to Google, take that outcome that you specialize in. So if it's home loans, get home loans, and then press search, and then scroll down to that people also ask section, because then you've got your content ideas ready to go and you know exactly what to talk about. So you can do that right now while you're listening, and you don't have the excuse of, I don't know what to talk about. So try that.
Awesome. That is the best piece of advice. And I love it. It opened my eyes to all the things that we don't see when it's right in front of us. I mean, we're all on Google so much, but I had no idea. I just haven't noticed the people also ask section, which is, that is genius to get your content from those prompts. So thank you for that. And thank you for being on our show, Aaron. And I really loved and enjoyed this conversation. I'm sure people who are listening on replay or were listening that there's a lot of takeaways here. Even if you can't digest the whole conversation, just the little tips that you gave are enough to get us started. So thank you for that. Thank you for being here. And to the Waist Up Wardrobe Nation, thank you for joining us for another episode of Waist Up Wardrobe. You know, you can always catch a show on replay, and our guests are so generous. They always give the best giveaways to get you started on each of these topics. So take advantage of them. Reach out to them. Put in the hashtag for this episode. The hashtag to get Aaron's offer is hashtag fast content and shine. Take advantage of it, because this is a lot of valuable gifts that you can really take advantage of and use to your benefit. So there you have it. That was episode 160 of Waist Up Wardrobe. Join us next week at 11:30 a.m. Pacific time, when we will bring you a new fresh show to get you showing up in your best professional self, whether you're on camera or off camera. Erin, that was awesome. Thank you for the powerful information. I'm actually going to look at all the, my first thing that I'm going to do is go to Google and look at the, people also ask section. I cannot believe, like, when you said that, I almost had a visual of seeing something like that, but never digging deep into it.
Yeah, you wouldn't even know it's there. And it's right in front of your eyes. And when I discovered it as well, I was just like, what have I've been sitting here like getting stressed out. What can I talk about? And the questions are right in front of me the whole time. So it's a great tool.
It's such a good piece of advice. In fact, Rick, when he gets on here, Rick he's a video production expert. And so oftentimes when he would, help clients with brand videos or content videos, his clients would say, what do I talk about?
Yeah.
They don't know what to talk about. And these are experts in their fields, so I know Rick can vouch for that, but right, Rick?
That's right. Yep.
Yeah. Did you know about the Google people also ask?
Yeah, because I read the whole page.
Okay. Yeah. So Rick, I don't read everything. All right, Rick. Oh man. Okay. Yes. That was awesome. How was it for you, Erin? How did it feel?
I love that. You're very easy to talk to. I think that's one of the challenge is if you jump on a conversation and people, they don't have that flowing energy, it can be really difficult, but it was very nice to chat to you. I forgot that we were even doing a show, apart from when my voice started to get something in my throat halfway through.
Yeah. It happens. That's the beauty of being alive.
Always when it's live, it's when it's
yeah.
But again, that's what we want. We want the authentic. We want the mistakes. We want all that part. That's what makes it a human experience. So that was great.
Exactly. Nobody can accuse us on this show, Rick, of being AI powered, right?
That's right. Yep.
Flawed. But it's been really amazing, the quality of experts and guests I've been able to get on the show from Podmatch. And I am in the process of, every time I have a guest, I ask them, I want to build a community of experts where we can collaborate or just kind of be connected, possible partnerships or just promoting within each other. So I've been talking about this for a while, but I'm trying to kind of get the temperature of the group of how they feel about something like that. I would love to send you an email about more informational email if you'd ever be interested in something like that, because you have amazing expertise, a lot to give. So thank you for sharing today.
No, you're welcome. I think collaboration just leads to so many different opportunities for everyone. So I'm definitely open to taking a look at what you got planned there. So that sounds like fun.
Yeah, no, we're excited. Thank you for being here so early in the morning for you.
No worries. It's good. I got a jump start on the day. I've already done a show.
You've already done a recorded show.
Exactly. So I feel like I'm winning already. So thank you.
Yeah. So the show will live on Facebook at Waist Up Wardrobe. indefinitely. And it is also on iTunes and also on YouTube. So if you ever needed to refer back, those are the platforms that they're on. And let's stay in touch.
Absolutely. I'll definitely share it across my socials as well, because it's a good, fun conversation. And yeah, let's stay in touch.
Thank you so much, Aaron. And Rick, do you have anything for Aaron, or can we, let him go, maybe catch up on some sleep?
Have some more coffee.
No, I'm all good. It was a great show. Thank you for the
coffee.
information.
No, it's coffee time.
It's coffee time. Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Aaron.
All right. Thanks, Aaron.
Bye.
Hey.
Okay.
All right. Speedy recap.
You ready for this?
I am. All my energy is for the show today, and then I'm out. I can only do one. Yeah. Anyway, okay. Let's do this. Right. Let's do the. I have to remember like what I do. I can't remember what I do.
It's been a while, huh?
It has been a while. So I start out with
a thought-provoking question.
Yeah, based on the actual intro usually. I usually say, yeah, okay. I think I remember. All
right, let's give it a go. I'm gonna mute.
Give it a go. Okay. Want to be able to take one piece of content that's 30 minutes long and repurpose every bit of it to really get your biggest bang for your buck on your content so that you can stand out on all your platforms? Did I do that right?
Yeah, but
I can do it again. I think I was hesitant. Yeah.
Go ahead.
Okay. Want to learn how to take one piece of content that's maybe 30 minutes long and repurpose it so that you can get multiple pieces of creative content out of just that one piece? Does it seem truncated?
Yeah, it seems like there should be something else right after that to end.
Yeah. Okay. I can't remember. Okay. I think I say the intro and then I say so that you can blah blah blah, and then I come back on with the Waist Up Wardrobe Weekly wrap up in a nutshell. So I think it's just short, my opening.
Okay, I mean I can work with it.
Okay, I'll do it one more time.
All right.
I want you to get your biggest bang for your buck when it comes to your content. So, do you want to learn how to take one piece of maybe a 30-minute piece of content and repurpose it so that you have multiple pieces of creative content? I think I'm onto something, but I messed up.
Yeah, you're on the right track with that one.
Yeah. I want you to get your biggest bang for your buck when it comes to your content. Do you want to learn how to take a 30-minute piece of content and repurpose it into multiple? Okay, do it again. Okay. I want you to get your biggest bang for your buck when it comes to your content. Do you want to learn how to take one piece of content, maybe a 30-minute piece of content, and repurpose it into multiple pieces of creative content so that you can maximize your content over all your platforms?
Okay, I can use that one.
Okay. My eyes, like I have something in my eyes the whole show, and I couldn't go and change out my contacts, so that's why I'm like, no. My eyes are like driving me nuts.
Yeah.
Okay, I hate that when that happens. Okay. In Waist Up Wardrobe, episode 160, Your Content Multiple Ways, the Waist Up Wardrobe weekly wrap up in a nutshell boiled down to this. The main takeaway. Can I start from the main takeaway?
Yeah.
Okay. The main takeaway is like anything else, creating content is about getting started. You can't sit back and scroll through your social media platforms without taking the time to create it if you really want to grow your following and use it to capitalize in your business and your let's see. Okay. The main takeaway is you really need to treat content creation like anything else that you need to just take action in. If you're a runner, you know that you can't get better at running without doing the running and starting slow and getting faster. With content creation, it's the same thing. You got to create the content little at a time and keep doing it consistently so that you can be more well-versed in it. A tip that our guest told us about into an approach, forget the person to person, a tip into the number one tip that our guest told us about is be conversational. When you're videotaping yourself, just be relaxed and conversational. Maybe talk to somebody that you're comfortable with because that can really make good conversation roll, and you can take that video and you can repurpose it very easily because it was effortless. Opus dot for repurposing. A key tool that our guest talked about is something called Opus.ai, or wait, no, it was called Opus Clip for repurposing. Okay. A key tool that our guest told us about was Opus Clip.
It's Opus Clip, but the website is actually Opus Pro, opus.pro.
Okay. A key tool that our guest told us about that he thinks is fantastic for repurposing is called Opus.pro. Go there and use it to repurpose because it makes life so much easier when you're creating content. And finally, action item. This is awesome. I'm going to do this. Go Google a topic that you are expert at and go all the way down to where, okay, let's start that one again. And finally, your action item for the day is go Google a topic that you. And finally, the action item for the day. And finally, your action item for the day, go to Google and put in a search on your niche, and then go all the way down after you Google your niche topic and look at the section called Ask. And finally, your takeaway. Go to Google, enter a topic that you are expert in your niche, and then go all the way down on the search, and you'll see a section that is called People Also Ask. That will give you a hint into the frequently asked questions in your niche, and you can use each one of those questions as a topic to create content around. Yeah?
Yes, that last one was good.
Yeah? Or do you want me to do it again? I thought it was good.
Oh, that was good.
Yeah, it's good enough.
Was that the end?
That was the end.
Okay.
Okay. Thank you.
All right, hold on.